Hello, and welcome to the Bobcat Bulletin podcast, where we talk all things Bobcat sports. Right now, we're in season for basketball, softball, baseball, golf, tennis, and soccer is starting soon. Today, I'm joined by
Jay. Presley.
Isaac.
and my name is Matt Strain. Let's talk about the baseball game we had last night.
So Texas State went down 35, or went up 35, I guess you could say, and they went to Fort Worth to play the number 5 ranked TCU Horned Frogs. And honestly, the beginning of the game was a little ugly. TCU in the first got 2 runs, and then the second got 1 run, and then the third got another 2 runs. And it wasn't until the 4th inning that the Bobcats were able to get on the board with a run. And just sitting there watching it, it was a little alarming because the Bobcats just came off a sweep weekend against Youngstown State. I believe they scored 37 runs in the entire weekend, with Youngstown only scoring 4. And so you had a lot of momentum going into this game, and they just fell short with a final of 6-5. And once that 4th inning came and they got that first run, it was kind of lit a fire underneath them, and they were really able to get out there and just get back to the basics. There was one error, and there were just a few things that I felt that they were just trying to be a little too fancy, trying to just do a little too much, and it's just sometimes you just got to play small ball and just go back to what you know. And so Tony Roby started out, was the starting pitcher for this game, and unfortunately he took the loss, and he pitched 1.1 innings, and Roby is a seasoned veteran. Bobcat fans have seen a lot of him, and so it was a bit of a bummer seeing him not be able to go as far as he usually can. I believe last season there was a game he went 7 or 8 innings and just completely dominated. And so, it's just part of that beginning of the season, your first outing, and just trying to getting back into that groove. But driving in runs was Davis Powell, Cameron Thompson, Alec Patino, Aaron Lugo. And once those Bobcats got on that board, they were aggressive. You saw them just really getting good leads off to steal and just even playing really, really good defense. And at the end of the day, had that started earlier in the game, the score might have been a little different. And so it was a tough loss, but they get ready to head over to Round Rock this weekend, and they have 3 games over there, and all 3 are really good matchups, so it'll be really good to see what the Bobcats can do.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do. Last podcast, I mentioned Ryan Farber's batting average. It was a .6. Now it is a .75. So shouts out to Ryan. And he is also the only one on the team to have stolen a base this season. All right, with that, I would like to take it over to track. I heard we had some really top-level guys on our team, Jay.
Yeah, we did. So both guys and girls, the track teams both placed on the podium, and then there was one relay team that placed in 3rd with the new record. And so after the first day, the Texas women's team was leading over the men's, while the men's were placed in 6th. So shout out women's track. And then the men's long jumper, Chris Preddy, sorry if I mispronounced his name, was the Bobcat to bring home a gold for that conference. But as far as solely just men's track, there was 5 Bobcats and a relay team that earned individual championships. So Dominic Yancey placed for the 200 meter, Daniel Harold with the men's 60 meter hurdles, and then Melanie Duran for women's shot put, and then Brian West for the men's 400. Chris Preddy, along with his gold, he also placed for men's triple jump, and then all the claimed individual conference titles, while the men's 4x400 relay made up. I guess that was the relay team that won, was Brian West, Avery Vesa, Sean Collins, and Dominic Yancey all earned first place for the relay team. So we have a really good track and field. I personally don't really watch a lot of track and field, but I'm super excited to see them. If we can do this good now, just starting out, I can't wait to see how we go towards the end of the season. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. I didn't know we had such a good women's team as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of women's teams that are pretty good, shall we take it to basketball? Isaac?
Yes. The Bobcats, the women's team has been on the road for the past 4 games, but they are finishing their last 4 games here at Strahan, which is really nice. Maybe that's just the boost they need to get over this little that they've been on. The next two games that they have is against Marshall on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and then versus Louisiana on Saturday at 2 p.m. They're all going to be broadcasted on ESPN Plus, and it's going to be here at Strahan Arena, like I said. Last weekend we talked about them and how there was a pattern of letting like the best player on the other team take over like a quarter, and that really makes a difference sometimes, especially because we're kind of in these games. So I did a little research. I wanted to see who statistically might be the best player on the other team. For Louisiana and the Raging Cajuns, we're looking at Brandy Williams, who's averaging 11 points a game off 39% field goal shooting and 42% three-point shooting. You never really see that their three-point percentage is higher. So definitely double team that outside the perimeter. Do not give her a chance, because I can see her going for like a 15-point quarter. And then for Marshall, they have Roshala Scott. Sorry if I mispronounced that. She is averaging 21 points a game, so that is a score right there. 45% from the field, 25% from three. So, I mean, we know statistically she's not the best shooter, so maybe keep an eye on that. Let her be open. Let her take those shots. Make her shoot herself into like a problem instead of like letting her be inside and being where she wants to be. Clearly shooting 45% from the field. For the men's, they're actually going to be on the road. Funny enough, and they're going to be going up against Georgia Southern on the 22nd at 7 p.m. And Georgia State on the 24th at 1 p.m. also going to be broadcast on ESPN Plus. They also had that same problem where they let just an opponent just go off for a quarter, and that usually changes everything. So for Georgia Southern, statistically their best scoring person is Tyron Moore, averaging 14.8 points a game off 39% three-point percentage and 46% from the field. So this guy's a shooter, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
So we do have to keep an eye on that and not let him get carried away.
They'll remember for next year.
Yeah, for sure. And for Georgia State, their best scorer is Lucas Taylor, averaging 13.8 points off of 41% field goal shooting and 33% three-point shooting. So, again, just really, obviously, the best player on the team is usually going to have good shooting percentages. So, just make sure to stay up on defense and not let anything get carried away. Call a timeout if the momentum's on their side. Just don't let them get carried away and try to stay in the game for as much as possible.
I hear you. And hopefully this week we're able to paint the state of Georgia maroon and gold from bottom to top.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
With a win over Georgia Southern and then Georgia State, right?
Yeah, just kill the whole state of Georgia. That's the goal.
Yeah, eliminate it from the map. Atlanta Falcons, sorry. Bye-bye. Find another home. Okay, so I want to make a correction from last episode. I was talking about tennis, and real quick, I think it's worth mentioning that basketball for the women's team is quarters, and for the men's team is just halves.
Right, yeah.
Right, so if a guy is popping off, it's pretty hard to kill that momentum, because if he starts popping off at the beginning of one of these halves, that can really spiral.
Burn a timeout, I guess.
Yeah. Burn a timeout and pray.
Yeah. Just hope that's good enough. Watching the basketball game, I filmed it for this class. It is very hard to kill momentum.
This is not for a class. We do it for fun. I don't know what he's talking about.
It's both. Class and fun. But, yeah, it is very hard to kill momentum in a half setting. Because you don't get that many timeouts. So you got to be very careful when you call it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Well, anyways, I'd like to get back to tennis. I was talking about some of our international players. It's a common thing for international tennis players to like wait a year or two and get better so they can come like play Division 1 in the United States. And I thought that some of our players had done that. I covered tennis 2 or 3 years ago when I first started coming to Texas State, and I believe we had a player who had done that, so that's why it was in my head. But I was looking at our current players, and it doesn't look like they stayed. It looks like right after they graduated high school, they came here. But then again, all their Instagrams are private, and I wasn't about to get Facebook to stalk some tennis team girls. So it's a little bit up in the air. But you know, if I misspoke, I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sure they don't care or listen to the podcast. But you know, just in case like a Redditor listens, I gotta get my facts straight.
I interviewed 2 of them for.
Really?
I used to work at the Star, and I was a sports reporter, and I did a feature story on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're from, one of them was from Brazil, and the other one was from, I want to say Colombia or Venezuela. But they didn't do what you said.
Yeah.
They didn't do the professional thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a very common route that a lot of tennis players take, for sure.
I think it's worth mentioning that our tennis team is first of all they're usually pretty high performing. I think they placed 5th overall in conference last season, which is 5th out of 14. And we have players who have transferred from all over the U.S., like Iowa and a school in Dallas and a couple of other places. I didn't pay too much attention to the transfers, to be honest, because we have players from Canada, Colombia, England, and Venezuela. I think that's the sign of a good program.
Yeah.
People come from all over just to play for us.
Yeah.
For sure. I remember I asked them how that, having that many different cultures in a team, how that like affects, you know, camaraderie or just, you know, morale, and they all love it, you know. They wouldn't want it any other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tennis is it's a very international sport. Not just like who plays it, but who does the broadcasting on like the tennis channel for the professionals. It's pretty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's, I feel like the representation is pretty good. That's just kind of what tennis is about.
Do we still have a player in the tennis team from like England?
Yeah.
Across the pond?
Mm-hmm. Across the pond.
Yeah, I remember seeing that too. Thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Who is it? Andy Roddick? No. Andy Roddick is from Austin. Who am I thinking of? Andy something. He won the Olympics 2 times around from London.
Andy Murray?
Yeah, Andy Murray.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's met him.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's a certain chance that you'll run into him on any given court in the UK.
I guess so.
And for her, that's a lot higher than us.
And when you're that good, I mean, you guys they're playing against like the same type of people.
Yeah. You might come watch those high-level tournaments she's in. But does anyone have any other sport that they really want to talk about today?
I just wanted to talk about, just what's going to happen in softball this week.
Let's get it.
They have a game against Arizona State on the 15th on Thursday, and then have a game back to... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's late. That is old news.
They do have a game.
They do have a game?
Arizona.
Oh,
it's their first away game that they're traveling to on the 22nd.
Oh, okay. That's just the wrong date
Yeah.
then. Oh,
No,
gotcha.
you're right, but they're just...
Yes,
this is
that
their
is
first,
the
like,
wrong date.
road trip.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
That's good to know.
Wrong date on the website. My bad. Well, I'm gonna assume that the days are right, just not the dates.
Yes, those are right.
So Thursday they play against Arizona State. Then they play on Friday against Seton Hall, and then Ohio State the same day. Is that regular for?
Yeah, doubleheaders.
Wow.
It's a long day of pitching.
Yeah. And then Saturday they play against Utah Valley, and then Idaho State in that same day. And they play the Grand Canyon. They play Grand Canyon on Sunday.
They're playing in the Grand
in the
Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
That's tough. You can.
Oh wow! I can't believe they play back to back like that. I mean, how does that affect like your body? Like obviously you don't want to go 100. Like when you play sports, you try to give it your all. But I feel like when you're playing double headers on the same day, you're actually not trying to do that. Is that how that works? I've never played baseball.
I don't know. I
Softball.
never played
I
baseball.
mean, I feel like when you do see doubleheaders, and especially for Texas State softball, 3 tournaments to start off their season, that's something in the off season I feel like you might just mentally prepare your body for, and just really, because yeah, you're right, like your body is going to go through a lot, and especially with 2 days of doubleheaders, I mean, your body is just gonna have to get used to it. But also for Texas State softball, this is what's happened the past 2 weekends for them, so it's like, what's one more tournament is kind of probably what they're thinking, just because they've gotten through, and their pitching staff is just incredible. Jessica Mullins, whenever she gets put out in that circle, as a teammate like of hers, like you would probably feel really good about her being in that circle. And this weekend wasn't their hottest weekend as it was, as opposed to the last weekend. They started off really strong against Sam Houston Bearcats, ruled them 10-0 in 5, and I mean, what a way to set the tone for that weekend. But then they came back the next day and lost to Tulsa to start off, and then after Tulsa, they played Northern Colorado and got the win there, and so kind of a confidence booster, going in. But, I mean, Tulsa gave them a run for their money this week, and they could not beat Tulsa, and that just happens, and you're going to have those opponents that are tougher and are going to challenge you, and you just have to find ways to work around them. So after the loss to Tulsa, they also lost to Texas Tech for their first game that they had, and it was a bit of a tough loss as well, and just, it wasn't really that close. But then you look at Sunday's game, and they come back and they beat Texas Tech 8-1. And so it just really shows that this Bobcat team really is ready for anything and really can come back from those tough losses and really just kind of flush it and reset and fix the mistakes that were made, and just not let them happen again, and not get down on themselves, and just kind of pick each other up as well during the game and even after in the locker room, and just kind of get ready for what's to come next.
Yeah, that sounds amazing that they can come back from stuff like that, either from hard work or from stealing hand signals. We don't know. Maybe they take more after the Astros, but that has yet to be determined. Either way, we're very happy to have them as our softball team, and personally, as an Astros fan, I think, winning is winning, guys. So
yeah. No, they're really good. I saw them play Tech this past weekend because I was there filming the game. And it was kind of just like really slow at first, but kind of jumping back to what we were talking about earlier, I feel like a lot of Texas State teams have a really strong pattern of letting teams kind of just, like their opposing teams, go at it in like just one single like quarter or inning or whatever. Because I think it was probably about the top of the 6th, that's when Tech just kind of like gave it their all, and they back to back, and it was just like no one know where that came from. They were really good though. What you were saying, like their pitchers, our Texas State pitchers are phenomenal. They are so good. All the strikeouts they were giving Tech, they're really good. But yeah, I think that's just kind of something that Texas State athletics needs to keep an eye on. Is like, yeah, they're kind of going slow the first like bits of the game to give their players time to give it their all towards the end, but I think they may be holding back just a little bit too much, giving our other teams, like the opposing teams, just a chance to like, oh, well, they're down, let us go, wow, all right now, towards the end of the game, and then giving them the game. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. That's definitely tough, like trying to be a slow starter to save your energy. I totally understand that. I don't know. I'm on the wrestling club here, and I try to do that in my matches, but pretty much everyone else on the team just goes as hard as possible at the very beginning. So it's like, this is ours, like the wrestling club is kind of the opposite. We'll usually get ahead on points and then get so tired we get pinned, or get ahead on points and we're going so hard we're getting careless, and then we, get pinned. we get pinned a lot. We need to get better. But that's interesting. So that's like the culture of the school is to kind of be a slow starter. All right, well, I'll tell the team and we'll try to, be less reckless. I wanted to ask you guys, have you ever met Boko, our Bobcat, our mascot?
Haven't had the pleasure. Well, I have had the pleasure seeing him from like afar, but no. I haven't shook his hand.
Yeah, his paw.
His paw.
Yeah, his paw. Well, do you know about how tall he was? Could you guess?
Tall he was?
Mm-hmm.
Are you Boko?
Are you Boko?
No, dude.
Oh, I was like, is this where this is going?
No, this is not where this is going. I'm not Boko. I'm 5'8". The athletic department website says Boco's either 5'11" or 8'3", depending on what business he's standing on. Must be some serious business to add nearly 2.5 feet of paperwork to his height. I don't think you understand how serious this is. The average sheet of printer paper is 1/10 of a millimeter thick, and 1 inch is 25.4 millimeters. So Boco's height can increase up to 2 feet 4 inches, right, depending on the business he's on, aka paperwork. So 28 total inches of paper is 711.2 millimeters. Each millimeter is the height of 10 pieces of paper. So that means our school mascot, Boco, at any given time is responsible for 7,112 sheets of so-called business. So I don't know what they have him working on, but that sounds like the toughest job on campus. I don't know if there's any sort of admin position that does as much as Boco, and we just want to shout him out, Boco the Bobcat, we really love you.
Shout out Boco. Always sending on business as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, he probably reads every application. That's probably what that is.
Oh, yeah. On and off, on the field and in the office.
Who knew he did admissions in the off season?
Right.
All right. Well, one more thing. I like to shout out a different club sport every time I do the podcast. So today I want to mention the Quidditch Club. If you guys are unfamiliar, Quidditch is a game from the Harry Potter series. And our team, they've been bludgeoning competitors since 2011. They recently competed in the Brooms on the Brazos Quidditch tournament, where they triumphed over Mizzou, 155-110. Mizzou was ranked above them, so this is a big victory for our wizardly Bobcats. Have you guys ever watched a Quidditch match?
No.
They keep the broom.
Can't say that I have.
They keep the broom on them, and they throw dodgeballs at each other. It's actually kind of violent, yeah.
You wouldn't expect that because I've seen them when there's an org fair or something. They're there trying to get people to join the team, and they are the nicest people. So I guess they are nice off the field, but on the field you do not want to see them.
No.
You'll just see a ball going straight to your face. That's the last image you see before you pass out.
Yeah, at any given time, there are 6 dodgeballs on the field, and there's 4 people, I think, who can throw them at you. And then there's some people who can't really touch the dodgeballs, who are just focusing on
the small one, right?
Yeah, so the bludgeons are the dodgeball, and then the quaffle is the slightly deflated volleyball, so you can get a grip on it.
Yeah.
That's what you're tossing through the hoops. And it seems to be a contact sport. From what I was watching, it seems pretty intense. So I guess it's football players or I know boxers are like this, where it's off the field or out of the ring, they're really chill because they get it all out.
Oh yeah, I bet. When we say we know ball, we're talking all balls, including Quidditch.
Oh yeah. We're covering everything. We're shouting out different clubs. One more thing about Quidditch, I think this is interesting. There's no sport that really has a rule like this. The Golden Snitch, they still incorporate that element of the Harry Potter lore into the game. So that'll be somebody in a yellow T-shirt running around the entire campus.
Oh.
Yeah, so he just is loose on the campus, and one person from each team has to run around the campus kind of aimlessly trying to find him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then
so sick.
So you need a long distance runner to really be a good Quidditch team, and he has a little tennis ball and a sock tucked into his belt or wrapped around his belt, and so if you can pull that off, that's when the game ends.
So let me get this straight. We have a game going on in the field, and then while that's happening, we have 3 people on campus, one from the opposing team, and then what's it called?
The Seekers. Oh yeah, the Snitch.
The Snitch. We have that going on campus.
Oh yeah, there's
So
2
that's
games
going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know the logistics or anything, because I'm really curious about this. Where do the people start, and then does the Snitch have free reign of anywhere on campus?
Yeah, so the Snitch can go anywhere on campus. I think it's kind of frowned upon to go in buildings. That's kind of cheating, but I'm pretty sure the Snitch, yeah, they can go anywhere, and there are some huge universities, and pretty much every big school has a Quidditch team, so I don't know what's the biggest campus in college, but I feel A&M is pretty big. That would be a tough match to get the
imagine trying to, and then here I have to say with the hills and everything, trying to get it.
Oh, we probably have crazy home field advantage.
Yeah, for real. That's honestly so cool. Like, how have I not seen that here at Texas State? Like, you'd think I would see somebody in a golden suit running
Chasing
around.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really sad I haven't seen that. But now I know that if I do see that, I'll know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, take a video at the Quidditch Club. They're really nice. They responded to my question about how they were doing this season, like, super quick. Maybe we got to get a camera out there to one of those games.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's, like, I don't know why that got me really excited. I'm like, I
Yeah.
really want to see that. Like,
Isaac, you want to do a game story with me on Quidditch?
dude, honestly, that'd be so fun. Like,
All right.
oh my god. Like, I want to play. Like, I kind of want to play. Not the what's going on at the field, but just chasing around trying to get somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That just seems fun. That's like tag, like extreme tag.
Extreme Tag. I think that's a great place to end it. Shout out the Texas State Quidditch Club. Really quick, let's recap the games and matches we just talked about. Do we want to talk track real quick? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, women's team did great. They placed first, and then I also think, what did I say? The men's, one of the relay teams placed first. Men's had players all up on the podium while they placed sixth. So they did pretty good. I'm really excited to see how far they can go in their season. So
do you know when that season starts?
not sure.
Okay. Well, we can check back in.
Yeah.
Do we want to get on softball again?
Yeah, so softball is heading to Arizona, probably going out today, and they will start tomorrow. And really tough opponents out there. You know, you have Ohio State, Arizona, Grand Canyon, Utah Valley, and just some other opponents that really going to give them a run for their money. But I feel like softball is in a good spot, and they are in a place where they kind of know what it takes to compete at this higher level. And this whole team is made up of returning girls, so they've kind of already have an upper advantage of not having to figure that out at the beginning of the season. So really good weekend looking out for them.
They're 8-4 right now. Any prediction on how they do on this like 6-game skid?
I'll say they'll probably go 6-2. That's
6-2. Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's a 6-game skid.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 8. Sorry.
They're
No.
8-4.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Then I think ultimately they'll lose 2. I think they'll probably drop one to Ohio State. Probably drop one to Arizona State, but I think it'll be close. But other than that, I think the rest of them will be pretty good.
4-2, making us
12-4.
12 and.
We're mass comm
12-6.
students. Math is my strong suit.
Well, you're the one with the second papers, and you should have gone.
I mean, just think about it, dude. 7,000 pieces of paperwork. What
that was
the
a lot
heck?
of math. That was a lot of math.
It took me forever to do that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well worth it, because I needed to know what Boko was doing with his business.
Yeah, the reason he's in the suit is because he's super pale from staying inside working, and he's covered in paper cuts.
Oh yeah.
Can't roll anywhere without it. Do we want to recap basketball and what's going on with them?
Yeah, women's basketball is back here in San Marcos for their last 4 games. Their next 2 games are against Marshall at 7 p.m. on Wednesday and versus Louisiana Raging Cajuns, who I love their mascot. Their name, Raging Cajuns. That's awesome. That's on Saturday at 2 p.m. Also here at Strahan. And then for the men's, they have 2 away games. The 22nd, they're going up against Georgia Southern, and the 24th, they're going up against Georgia State. I'm hoping we just split it. I'd be happy with a split here at the end of the year. Just get some momentum to start off next year. So I'm hoping we can at least win 1 out of the 2 for both the women's and the men's.
Yeah, that's perfect. I want to bring up real quick that our first soccer match is coming up on Friday, February 23rd. It will be, it'll be against St. Edward's University, and it'll be home at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. The soccer team has earned a winning record for 7 of the past 10 seasons, and I'm excited to see what these ladies can do this time around.
I'm excited.
Did we talk about baseball in their next game?
No.
Okay, so that same day, Friday, February 23rd, Bobcat Baseball will battle the Kansas Jayhawks. Following their performance against TCU, we see some things we can improve on, but I'm excited for it. And then that same day, the tennis team goes head-to-head with New Mexico State. The team has won their last 4 tournaments, so I expect more great results.
Let's go tennis.
All right. Men's golf, sorry, you're going to have to do better for me to talk about you. And women's golf, they're playing in the Chevron Collegiate Tournament in Houston next Monday and Tuesday, February 26th and 27th. I think that's all, folks. Thank you for listening to the Bobcat Bulletin podcast. I've been your host, Matt Strain.
Isaac.
Presley.
And Jay.
Thank you very much for joining us.